right, John, thank you. Spurs and Lakers tied at 15. Kobe Bryant continuing his unbelievable play. He has 11 of the Laker 15, and Shaquille O'Neal is fouled by Stephen Jackson. Mike Tirico, Tom Tolbert, Sal Masekela, two teams that are absolutely smoking. The Lakers have won 7 in a row, the Spurs 6 in a row, and here are the 5 on the floor with Jackson and Parker in the backcourt, Tim Duncan along with Bruce Bowen, whose assignment is to stop Kobe. And Kevin Willis gets the start. David Robinson on the injured list. More on him momentarily. The Laker guy, you've seen these Laker guys 1,000 times. I don't have to go through their names. You know them. And life is good. The big fella is still bothered by the toe and a little bit of a knee injury, but Shaq has played from the start right throughout. It has been the Kobe Bryant show once again, Tom.
Well, it's been incredible. He's doing it so effortlessly. You can tell these guys when they're playing so well, it seems like everything around him goes slow, and you expect him to make every single shot he takes.
I mean, we've been watching this game for the last 7.5 minutes. Kobe hasn't done a thing wrong. We get here, you say effortlessly, and then he travels right in front of us.
But it looked good, though. It was an effortless travel. I mean, everything's going well for him right now. But the thing about it is, a lot of times when you see guys going off, it seems like they're forcing things, trying to get their own shots. This is real easy for him. Ouch.
Malik Rose, great pass, but Stephen Jackson could not convert. Back come the Lakers with Rick Fox. Lakers have not made a sub yet. Good take by Jackson as Tony Parker runs. Parker elevates. He had one blocked by O'Neal earlier, but showed some hops at 6'2".
That's going to be one of the top 5 all-time dunks by a Frenchman ever, you would think. I can't really verify that, but one of the better ones I've seen.
Here you see both teams off to a decent shooting start. Shaq now watched by Malik Rose. Took it right to the goal, and they'll count it with a free throw for O'Neal. David Robinson not here. Back in San Antonio. That right hip problem is related to the back problem that he had last year. He's receiving therapeutic injections, and certainly Greg Popovich is going to have to throw a lot of different people at Shaq tonight with no Admiral.
Well, it doesn't really matter if you have who you have out there. He dominates everybody. You always need help with Shaq. So Tim Duncan will take his turn. I wouldn't imagine Duncan will take his turn until the 4th quarter. You don't want to get him in foul trouble. Malik Rose will guard and bang him and hope that he can get some help. Malik Rose will battle him. He's too small, but he will battle as much as he can.
Manu Ginobili in for San Antonio. Hounded by Rick Fox, and Fox is called for the personal foul. The rookie out of Argentina, athletic player, Manu Ginobili, who's gotten a little more comfortable here as we've gotten through January and on into February, averaging 5 points per game.
You can just tell he understands the game, much like Tony Parker, who came in last year. And a lot of the foreign players that come in, they understand the game, they understand spacing. Ouch.
Well, that would go on Duncan as Fox took the shot, and for as quick as he went down, he got up very fast. The foul on Tim is his first. Phil Jackson and company feeling a lot better, and with the Rockets trailing tonight, chance for LA to not only be 4th in the Pacific and 4 games over 500 with a win, but they could move into the 8th spot in the Western Conference and get into the playoff picture officially. San Antonio, 2nd in the Midwest. Dallas in their sights, although the Mavericks won earlier tonight. Tim Duncan, 6th in the NBA, and a big reason why this Spurs team is the toughest to have success shooting from the field.
Well, Malik Rose doing as good a job as you can, just trying to keep him out right there. Once he takes that second dribble, before he gets his second dribble, someone's got to come. Because once he's in motion, it's too late. You're just going to foul him. And once he gets in the paint, it's probably going to end up being a 3-point opportunity.
Malik Rose is strong, but he's 6'7". He's given up a half foot at about 90 pounds. Lights out when 34 gets it on the paint. Even a Rose can't get it done against O'Neal on Valentine's Day in LA. Sorry about that. Another terrific start for Kobe Bryant. He has 11 of the LA 20. Lakers lead by 3. Kobe Bryant averaging 42 points his last 7 games, coming off of 51. And while the Orlando Philly game was wrapping up, Bryant was getting going once again. So comfortable from the outside, so tough to defend for Bruce Bowen. Why so hot lately? Sal Masekela.
Well, I wish I actually had the answer. Everybody knows that Kobe is hotter than Hansel right now, whether he's taken to the rack the line spurring up with jumpers. I asked Kobe before the game, I said, what is it, man? Why are you killing him so badly? Is it perhaps the birth of your baby girl that's inspired this crazy run? He said, you know what, Sal? He was real humble. He said, I just don't know what it is, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens, see if he can keep it going tonight.
Yeah, Sal, his wife, Vanessa, gave birth to Natalia on January 19th, less than a month ago. And since his daughter was born, Kobe's averaging 35.5 points per game, and told me pregame he is changing diapers and doing a very solid job. He said he has no problem. He has eased into that role quite comfortably. So he averaged 35 a game and changed diapers. That is
Man
strong.
can do it all.
That is strong.
You know, when you're talking about a streak, let me quote Kevin Costner. He's talking to Tim Robbins in Bull Durham. He said, you don't blank with a streak. You don't think about it much. You just go out there and you do it. Whatever you're doing, you keep doing till the streak's over.
Ginobili saw O'Neal and Devin George there defensively, and Manu went right by to make it a one-point game. Well, Bryant has had the advantage of Shaquille O'Neal being very helpful in aiding Kobe have the space to squeeze off 27 shots per game. Here's Derek Fisher over Steve Kerr. 3 bodies to the ground. Shaq, Malik Rose, and Tim Duncan.
7-10 splits left. They had all kinds of pins going on down there. That's one thing. When Shaq falls, you just want to make sure you get out of the way. Because that could end your season right there.
Make sure everybody gets up, all right. 3-point game, final 90 seconds of the opening quarter. Your old Arizona teammate, Steve Kerr, who's been giving Parker a break, running the point. Duncan over O'Neal.
That guy is so technically sound. I guarantee if he was a figure skater, he'd be leading after the first day every time. Every compulsory's done with, and he is just unbelievable.
Have you ever watched those?
Not really, but I just kind of, a little bit. You know, when the Olympics rolls around, I watch it.
Compulsories are unwatchable. 8 to shoot for Bryant. Steps back. Couldn't get it. Rebound for Malik Rose.
Well, that was a little bit of a force. That was the one shot so far in this first quarter. But when you're that high, you want to check yourself and see, well, let's see what we got going on here tonight.
Ginobili on the tape. Duncan trying to clean it up, and Devin George comes away with the board. Healthy ankles, much better play out of George the last month. All of a sudden, these Laker role players are looking far more athletic and talented than they did in November and December. O'Neal. Kobe tried to tip it, but Duncan's long arms keep it away.
Malik Rose is going to need at least 3 ice bags tonight. This is a 3 ice bag game right here, if not more.
1 second difference, more on the game than the shot clock. Steve Kerr looks over at Greg Popovich, gets the set play to run. Bowen, that's 2. Duncan the rebound. Well, Kobe Bryant's right on average. 11 in the opening quarter. He's averaging 42 per game in the last 7. But remember, he had that 51 in only 3 quarters against Denver. After 1 in L.A., the Lakers lead the Spurs by 1. Life on the road for the San Antonio Spurs. They got a beautiful new arena, the SBC Center, but they host the rodeo in San Antonio. 23 days has forced a 9-game road trip. I mean, this is a serious rodeo deal now. I've never seen that at a rodeo, by the way. The PRCA Pro Rodeo, part of it, but it's also like a state fair. You go in the grounds, you just start to enjoy yourself, and here it is, the 9-game road trip that concludes on our ABC NBA Sunday against Sacramento. They lost the opener in Minnesota, and you think, boy, franchise longest road trip, longest road trip in the league this year. We lose to Minnesota, you have to play Indiana, go to Miami, come out west, and then they've won the next 6. And tonight, the Spurs can set NBA history. No team has played 7 consecutive games on the road in the same season and won them all. Yeah, teams have had like an 8-9 game road winning streak. Bryant misses. That's been broken up by some trips home. They've tied an NBA record, winning 6 consecutive games, and all of them coming on the road. They can set a new mark with a victory here tonight. Tim Duncan, who, along with Tony Parker, has had the worst of it, because in the All-Star break, everybody else got to go back home and change clothes and check in, get the mail. And these guys went to Atlanta, were home for 8 hours, and back on the West Coast. Oh, Bryant, offensive foul on Manu Ginobili. Rookie gets the call.
Kobe's saying, that ain't right. Come on, that ain't right. Let's see right here, drives in. Yeah, he squared him up pretty good right there. If you can square a guy up and he hits you in the middle of the chest and you don't clip him on the hip or the shoulder, they're going to give you that call.
Samaki Walker slaps it from Duncan. Kareem Rush in the game. Freshman out of Missouri. Steve Kerr lost his balance on the shot. Robert Horry comes away with the ball. Horry, Rush, George, Bryant, and Walker, the 5 on the floor. The gold and purple of the back-to-back-to-back NBA world champion. Bryant off the screen. Yeah, I get an offensive foul. I'm coming right after. Don't anger him, because now he's ready.
You know the most amazing thing, and you mentioned it before the break, 51 points in 31 minutes last game in Denver. You prorate that, that's about 80 points. 80 points in a basketball game.
Samaki Walker called on the foul. Well, Kobe Bryant's the favorite of many. What is Kobe Bryant's favorite Michael Jordan moment? You can find the answer in click and roll. Log on to NBA.com. You mentioned it in Denver a couple of nights ago. 51 points in 31 minutes. It is the least amount of minutes for a man who scored over 50 points in the history of the NBA.
That was a good week for me.
51?
50, oh, yeah. And now we're talking 4 or 5 games in a week. I needed a good 4 or 5 game spurt. 51 points, absolutely incredible. And we talked about the efficiency over this span of 7 games. He's shooting over 50% from the field, and that's key. I mean, a lot of guys are volume scorers, which means they'll shoot 31 shots and make 13 and go to the line a few times. And you see tonight, 12 of the 22 shots the Lakers have taken tonight have come by Kobe Bryant. And when a guy's that hot and he's that efficient, I'd let him shoot as much as he wants to. And right there, somebody's have to come get him.
Over Steve Kerr. 15 of the Lakers 26. I mentioned this earlier in one of our ESPN News hits, I think. I don't care who wins tonight, but I want to see Kobe stay on this roll. You don't see this in any sport, a guy this locked in. Treat to come to the building and watch. Steve Kerr, who's hit a few threes in his life, and Phil Jackson has seen many of those big threes hit by Kerr. He played for Jackson in Chicago, 95 through 98, and has 3 rings to show for it.
Well, you can't leave him open, just simple as that. The all-time field goal percentage leader from beyond the arc. I mean, he can flat out stroke it. He knows how to find the seams, and he's a guy you do want to rotate to when he's out beyond the arc.
I'm showing a little speed past Kareem Rush. Tim Duncan, long arm of the law, brought that one down, but could not convert. Ginobili tried to draw the foul, and that time it's on Manu.
You got to give your player a chance to turn and make a play before you can step in and take that.
Ginobili gives Greg Popovich some options to not have to run Bruce Bowen at Bryant for the full 48. The 7th-year coach of the Spurs, who won the championship in 1999 as Ginobili, and maybe a little bit of Steven Jackson tonight to try on Kobe, just try to wear him down, because he's wearing out the league. Somebody call David Stern, because this cannot be within the rules of the league. This is unbelievable. 8 of 14 from the field, 17 of the Lakers 28.
I might send another guy over there at him. I just get sick of looking at it. Same play over and over again. I'd make somebody, especially with the Laker lineup out there, make somebody else make a shot with Shaq not out there.
8 of 14 from the field, 15 minutes, 17 points for the hottest player in any sport, anywhere, right now.
Next big at the half. Mike?
Sacramento team will see San Antonio on ABC on Sunday. Kobe Bryant goes to the bench as he has put up 17 thus far, on his way perhaps to an 8th straight game with 35-plus points. He is only one of 6 players to do it. Wilt Chamberlain scored 35 or more in 33 straight games. Now, you saw Jordan on that list, and Kevin just mentioned his last game in Utah. Jordan did it a couple of times. Wilt did it many times. But those are the only players to ever accomplish what Bryant's done in the last 7. Fisher on the take. Could not convert. Ginobili, the big bounce pass to Malik Rose, who allowed George to get up in the air.
Mr. Pump Fake. I'm telling you, the man, you got to stay on the ground when he gets the ball underneath the basket, and it works like a charm every single time. Jump, fly by, go ahead and lay it in. And I'm pretty sure my math was right. I added up all the rest of the players on that list. It added up to 40. Wilt had 33 games of 33 straight games of 35. I mean, that guy averaged over 50 points a game for a season.
Devin George knocks down a 2. Interesting to see where the Laker offense comes from with Bryant on the bench here, as it's Kareem Rush and Derek Fisher in the backcourt with Devin George, Robert Horry, and Shaquille O'Neal. You figure a lot will run through 34. Ginobili lost
nice.
But Manu Ginobili really coming with some great energy and some good moves. Didn't finish there.
Well, that's about 4 bunnies they've missed already. I mean, right at the rim, just couldn't get it to go.
Here is Shaq, right at Willis. George crashing the glass from the rebound for Malik Rose.
This is something the Spurs have done better the last couple weeks, is pushing the ball, trying to get up and get easy shots. If you don't have it, you don't have to take it, but at least trying to get up there and exploit the defense before they have a chance to get set.
Danny Ferry in the game, missed the 3, and back comes Fisher. Trying to throw it up for the big fella. Ginobili went up to get the ball, and he ran into Shaq's arm.
Ouch.
It brought him right down. Well, we mentioned that ABC doubleheader on Sunday. We'll start with the shoot-around at 12:30 Eastern. Then the Sixers, you just saw, take on the Nets. The Spurs visit Sacramento on President's Day, MJ's 40th, against Vince Carter and the Raptors. And TNT will have Shaqy Out 2 here from Staples on Tuesday night. So as we get past the All-Star break and the games get more important, the matchups are pretty sweet. We'll get that window going with the doubleheader on ABC, starting at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. Early wake-up call for you, Tom, on Sunday.
It's always early for you, Mike.
The dump down to Georgia, blocked inside. Good paint defense from San Antonio here thus far. 7-minute mark, all square at 30. Steven Jackson saw no Shaq under the basket, attacked the goal, but couldn't finish. That's last touch, Kevin Willis.
Oh, chalk it up, 5 they've missed inside of about. I mean, those are ones that really, as a coach, you can't complain about those, because that's not a mental breakdown. That's just, you know, getting to the rim, trying to get the shot up before Shaq gets over there. But, you know, you start getting into 5, 6, 7 point-blank misses, those haunt you at the end of the game.
San Antonio cold here, while the Lakers are shooting 48% against a good Spurs defense. Shaq, I thought, was wrapped up by Kevin Willis. I was waiting for the foul. It didn't come. O'Neal, 2 of 8. Steven Jackson able to gain control and plenty of time to settle it with the starting point guard, 20-year-old Tony Parker. Tony Parker is abusing whoever's defending him here in the first half.
Anytime he wants to get to the middle, he's getting to the middle. And that's something he does extremely well. Gets to the middle, that little jump shot, little mid-range floater, and always in perfect control.
That time Shaq was fouled. Going on in there against Kevin Willis. Last trip down, watch what happens.
So you're going to see him dribble, and that's what you do. You collapse, and a great play right there, I believe, by Steven Jackson coming in. And just a little too late right there coming. And Shaq just threw his arms up into Kevin Willis's arms. And at that point, when you're guarding down low, you don't want to have the hands extended out. You want to have them extended up. When they're extended up, the player can't do that.
O'Neal missing the first free throw. Free throw shooting always a story with O'Neal. Seems like when he makes them early, he gets going. As you see his comparison from last year to this year, the numbers are starting to balance out as the season goes on, and O'Neal gets more healthy. Described himself in the 80th percentile for physical fitness.
Well, interestingly enough, it seems like he does shoot his free throws better in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know, the games you watch, so, hey! Well, they cannot buy a layup.
Bowen missed it inside. It will stay with the Spurs after this timeout. Robert Horry just wants to make sure that Pat Frayer, the official, saw it and understood it. He did. Spurs shooting 38% from the field, but still lead by 2.
But, of course, none of them is hot as Kobe Bryant, Mike.
That's absolutely true, although they've had some kind of fourth quarters this year in Phoenix for the Suns, who are also feeling the Lakers heat from behind. Phoenix third in the Pacific. Lakers trying to get win 1 on the season in Game 3 against the Spurs. The first 2 coming while Shaquille O'Neal was out of the lineup. He's in the lineup now, but Sal Masekela struggling from the field.
Well, one of the things that Phil Jackson talked about before the game was that he was going to need, O'Neal was going to really need to step up his intensity. He only shot the ball 6 times in the last game against Denver, and he said they're not going to be able to just rely on Kobe again and expect another 51-point outburst, you know, although it looks like he's on the road to that. He's already got 8 touches tonight, so obviously taking heed to Phil Jackson.
He showing the defensive intensity that was not there earlier in the season. Blocked that shot by Duncan. Rick Fox for 3. And Tim comes away with the rebound. Look at Shaq run the floor to get Kevin Willis.
Well, Spurs have done a great job on the defensive glass, only allowing the Lakers 2 offensive rebounds.
Is Tony Parker playing some good basketball? 4 of 6 in the field. He has 8 points. And San Antonio's up 6.
What's Parker in, like his 7th year?
He's 20. 20 years old.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
That's only his 2nd year over here in America, too.
I know.
You don't talk about that. Duncan give and go with Jackson, couldn't catch. Fox on the push, looked for Kobe Bryant. Bruce Bowen was following 8 right away. The Lakers will set up in a half court. Still plenty of time, 10 on the ticker. Bowen's 2nd team all defensive last 2 years in the NBA. Kobe could get no freedom.
Come on, no. That's just dumb.
Although he gave you a little tongue wag there on the way back, his tongue wag is the head shake. That's offensive on partner. Call for the offensive foul.
I mean, this is ridiculous right here. Guy's right up in him. Duncan's going to be over there. He'll show a little bit. Duncan right Bowen. No, that's okay. Just like no one's there. Like no one's there. Just like I'm out here warming up. No biggie.
He's hit his last 4 field goals. It's a dream to watch. Fisher at the big, strong screen from Fox. Willis watched by Shaquille O'Neal. Hits it. Well, Bruce Bowen's guarding Kobe Bryant. And Sal, it's something Bruce Bowen knew he would be in for tonight.
Well, Bruce Bowen, despite just getting shook out of his shoes there, I talked to him before the game. He said, I'm not a Kobe stopper because there is no Kobe stopper. He said, all I can do is take pride in the job that I have, which is to play defense against one of the best players in the game. He said he just was going to take it to the fundamentals, the high school stuff. Really deny the ball, get a hand in the face, try and make his shots difficult. He said the guy's going to take 30 shots. There's no way I'm going to stop him. But I would not want to be Bruce Bowen tonight.
He's got 21, Kobe, right now. Parker, double dribble, and never touched a Laker. It was only in Parker's possession. So LA will have a chance to get it to 2 or 1 on this trip.
Well, I still think at some point, Coach Popovich has got to send another guy over at him and make somebody else take some shots and make somebody else
With Shaq on the
beat
floor,
you.
though?
Yeah. I mean, the way this guy's going right now, who cares? Yeah, anybody. Shaq's only 2 for 8 at this point. I mean, this guy right here, if you don't deny him the ball and he catches it, you're just at his mercy.
Look at him. Saying, get closer.
And that was great defense.
Yeah, fabulous defense. Jackson to Parker. Bodied by Fox. Mismatch anywhere? Not there. Walker guarding Duncan. And double, he's trying to make the pass on the cut. Fox on the run. Left it for Bryant. Oh! Timeout Spurs. He has 23. It's not about Schmidt. It's about Kobe right now. His teammates are finding him. They're even giving up layups to give it to 8 to see what acrobatic shot can he perform now.
So quick, isn't he, Mike?
Oh, Kevin, it's with good reason. There's nothing else to talk about in the league but what this guy has been doing. And tonight, in a variety of ways, against a variety of people.
And once he catches it, you're at his mercy. I mean, he's controlling everything. Right there. Catch, turn, shoot. Steve Kerr too small to guard him. Off the dribble, Manu Ginobili thinks he's going to go by him. Pulls up. Then he does go by Bruce Bowen. And then a little razzle-dazzle. Pluck it right. The only thing you can do right now is just deny him the ball. Because once he gets it, you can't stop him.
There are the numbers Kev was talking about. The rest of the team, 6 of 19. And that is troubling because you don't want to exist all year like this. Duncan lost it, and kept it alive, and turned it over. I think he thought it was going to hit Shaq and go out of bounds. It did not.
But I think it surprised Tim Duncan because Shaq's not normally a reacher. He just bodies you and he'll go up and block shots, but he doesn't reach and slap at balls normally. So I think it might have caught Tim Duncan a little off guard. It may have caught Shaq a little off guard.
Well, Tim Duncan just 3 of 11 tonight. Shaquille O'Neal 2 of 9. 2 of the best in the league. Not off to good starts this evening. Kevin Willis says there is no way that you can tell me that I committed a foul. And you didn't, Kevin. You see?
San Antonio.
Inadvertent whistle, as you can hear. Kevin was, you gotta be kidding me. I played 19 years in the league.
Like a senior discount there. It's like, whatever. We'll give you that one.
Spurs by 2 as we approach 2 minutes to the AT&T halftime report with Kevin Gregg. 11 games around the league. He'll have all the pictures and scores. Duncan continues to struggle from the field. 3 of 12.
We can talk about Kobe and what's been going on with the defense, but look out. Yeah, that's too tight. But I tell you what, Samaki Walker has done a tremendous job on Tim Duncan.
Yes,
He's done a very good job on him down low, and that's one of the reasons the Spurs are having a hard time generating any offense.
Former Spur Walker spent a couple of years in San Antonio. Willis brought Shaq outside, allows Duncan to get that rebound, and a fresh shot clock. There's good defense that Tom just talked about. Tim has 10 boards, not hitting it offensively. It's been Parker keeping the Spurs in this game. Kevin Willis gives him another fresh shot clock. 28-16 the rebound edge, and Parker with the high release over O'Neal.
Oh, you want to talk about making the big fellas mad? It like takes the cuticles off as it goes. Like, whoop, gotcha. And Mark Jackson was the best at that. The teardrop, take it in the middle and just throw it up. George Gervin, another one. Yeah, exactly.
Feed to Shaq inside. Didn't get the foul, so he said, I'm going to bang anybody in my way, and you're not going to call that one.
Duncan just bounce off him. Yeah, not big. Duncan's a big guy, but boy, you going against Shaq, you're going to end your momentum's going to stop quickly and then reverse.
Beautiful. Parker. Duncan couldn't finish. Oh, O'Neal blocked Duncan. Tim Duncan doesn't get many shots blocked. Fisher was turned away by Parker. He resets.
Shaq with the old Kareem move. It's kind of joining the play in progress.
Due to time constraints. Kobe got Ginobili in the air. Free throws coming. Manu, disbelief.
Boy, you want to talk about a ball sandwich right here. Let's go back the other way. And you're right, he doesn't get many of those blocked. Shaq had the angle on him. He was sitting there waiting for him as they turn with the jump hook. He's like, no, it's not going to happen. And I think he probably felt like, let him fast break.
And it's interesting to see the Lakers with the 7 blocks and the Spurs with 2 because San Antonio leads the league in block shots. It's 7 per game. Ginobili's going to sit down. He has 3 personal fouls. So Manu will have to take a seat on the San Antonio bench for the balance of the half, only 21.3. Meantime, Bryant actually only made 1. 24 of LA's 41.
The last shot here. Wouldn't be surprised they tried to keep it in Tony Parker's hand and maybe have somebody come up instead of high pick and roll for him, let him try to create.
Foul to give for LA. Trying to give it. Duncan, Shaq, that in the act. So Tim will shoot free throws.
Those are not easy passes to make when you're going at that speed into the middle with the big fellas. To be able to put that on the money where Duncan doesn't even have to gather it, just catch and lay it up. Put the onus on the defense to come over and make a play.
Here comes the reigning MVP of the NBA. Rookie of the year, a finals MVP to his credit. Just the 9th free throw attempt in this game for both teams. See Tim Duncan, who shoots 49% from the field, struggling tonight, but he does have a double-double. Lakers take a 20 here at the end of this first half. So Phil can have a word down there with the official. Well, we mentioned President's Day. We'll have an NBA special on ESPN Monday afternoon on Michael Jordan's 40th birthday. The Washington Wizards host the Toronto Raptors. John Saunders, Sean Elliott, David Aldridge will be with you from the nation's capital on President's Day at 1:30 Eastern as Michael turns 40. Take on Vince Carter and the Raptors. Phil Jackson saw many of the good years of Michael as he turns 40. You look at those numbers. struggled tonight for Jordan, out of the game early, but had a good game against the Clippers in this building the other night, trying to keep that average high enough so he can stay above 30 for his career. Great people born on February 17th.
So let me take a wild guess and say you or someone close to you.
My wife.
Okay, well, there you go. I will concur. I will concur.
Do you think I would call myself great in your presence? 5.8.
I didn't think you'd dare.
Let Kobe, why not? Can he beat the clock on the way down? If that went in, we would have checked out. We would have just checked out.
I was leaving if that one went in.
Bryant, 24 of the Laker 41. You see Parker and Duncan 10 apiece. Even though Duncan has struggled from the field, Parker has been terrific in this first half. At age 20, a guy went 0 for 10 from the field in the opener here in Staples against the Lakers this year. Parker's turned it around here tonight. Kevin Willis also had 8, and here's with Sal Masakela.
Kevin Willis, very interesting first half. How do you guys plan on trying to contain what's going on with that guy they call Kobe, what he did in the first half?
Hard to contain him because he's such in the groove right now. He's in the zone. So you try to contain him and make every shot very difficult for him. And if we can do that, we'll be successful in the second half. But the first half, you can see he shot it well and he got to the basket.
This road trip has been very successful for you guys, 6 in a row. How is it going to be if you guys can take this into Sacramento with a win?
Sweet, if we can get this one. We got to focus on this one first. Once we get this one, then concentrate on Sacramento on Sunday. But it's going to be a grind, but we can do it. We're at one right now at half, and I think we can do it.
All right, well, it's very impressive, man. Good luck in the second half. Back to you, Mike.
Only John Stockton and Karl Malone still active in the NBA have played more games than Kevin Willis, who had a good first half, starting for David Robinson, who was injured. The AT&T halftime report with Kevin Frazier and Greg Anthony coming up. Kobe Bryant, averaging 42 per game in his last 7, had 24 in the first half, keeping the Lakers in it. They trail the Spurs, who are looking for 7 in a row, by 1 at the break. NBA Friday on ESPN from LA, where Kobe Bryant continues one of the hottest streaks the NBA has seen in a long time. Spurs have thrown many people at him, and Ginobili, Bowen, whoever you are, just add you to the list. Tim Duncan comes in, averaging 30 points in his last 3 games, with just 3 of 14, had a couple of shots blocked, although he has 7 offensive rebounds. Tony Parker's offense with 10 points, 2 assists in the first half, keeping the Spurs in it. And despite missing a half dozen easy layups, Spurs lead by 1, 42-41. Let's check out Kobe Bryant's 11 of 19, Tom Tolbert, in shot chart form.
Well, it's all over the place for him. Inside, outside, threes. And we've been going nuts. I mean, it's amazing what Kobe's been doing. But in the meantime, Spurs have the lead.
Yep.
Spurs are leading by a point. If you were just watching this game and not keeping track of the score, you'd say, well, Spurs aren't shooting very well. They're hitting the boards okay. Kobe's on fire with Lakers up 7, 8 points. No, Spurs are up, and one of the reasons is 10 offensive rebounds. They have 8 more shot attempts than the Lakers.
And San Antonio's not a great offensive rebounding team. They only average 11 a game, and that's 22nd of the 29 NBA teams. So something they must improve upon in half number 2. Same 10 that started the game on the floor for LA and San Antonio, the 2 hottest teams in the league. Spurs going for 7 in a row. Bowen holds Bryant on the nice set play to start this second half. Here are the complete first half statistics. You mentioned the Spurs poor shooting from the field for San Antonio, yet they lead because of the offensive rebound advantage, and the overall plus 12 on LA is a pretty good rebounding number.
Well, the big stat is shot attempts, and the Lakers took 40 shots, Spurs 48 shot attempts. 48. Wow, 48? That's a lot of shot attempts. I didn't sound like that much until I went, well, that'd be like 96 for that's unheard of in the NBA now. But 8 more shot attempts. All you need to do is get 3 or 4 more buckets out of those 8 shot attempts, and boom, that's why they're leading. And he's not. And it could happen. But I don't expect to look at the stat sheet at the end of the game and see Duncan 6 for 28. You don't expect that. At some point, he's going to start stringing some shots together.
Samaki Walker called for the foul. I still can't believe that the last foul was not in the act of shooting. They called a hold on the floor, but I thought Brian almost finished the alley-oop. This one is in the act, so Tim will try to take over the team lead in scoring tonight.
Now, I'm not sure if that's because you have to have possession of the ball. Maybe you have possession of the ball, you get fouled in the air. Because sometimes you see that on offensive rebound, a guy will go up and get it, and if he gets fouled, they'll send him to the line, but based on whether you have possession or not.
It is exactly why. It just didn't look that way. There you see everybody else not doing too much for LA. And now Shaq is in double figures with 11. O'Neal in his first dozen games has come back now playing game 38 on his season. Parker, tough release. Lakers break out.
Great transition defense by the Spurs. And that looked by all rights is going to be a break, and the Spurs actually outnumbered them on the defensive end.
Steven Jackson commits. And Kobe makes it count.
I talked about Malik Rose being Mr. Pump Fake. Right now, Kobe's got him guessing. He goes up, and they're on the ground. They go up, he's on the ground.
You saw the difference with Bruce Bowen, who was doing such a great job defensively, and Steven Jackson that time saw him. Oh, I've got him right now. Just flew right past him. Duncan, and there's Tim Duncan right there. The ability to make that shot that far out.
Yeah, and he's got, for a guy that big, all kinds of range. And with his jump hook, heck, the jump hook, he can go out to 10 feet with that jump hook. But he's just so long, he got a great release point on his shot that once he gets to where he wants to be, it's hard to affect him.
Double came at a good time from Steven Jackson that time, and the Spurs push, try to extend the lead to 4 with a Parker 3. Youngest starting point guard in the NBA, just a little bit younger than Gilbert Arenas at Golden State. And the Warriors are playing good basketball right now, and Jay Williams of the Bulls. Kobe to Samaki. Walker hit his head on the rim. It is 5-on-3. Back the other way. Parker at the line. One more pass. Bowen loves the corner 3. Couldn't finish. Walker now rejoining the play. Mismatch. Parker's eyes just
yeah, you got to get out of the way. Clear out for the guy.
Right back to the other corner for Jackson triple. Steven Jackson. A little restless 8-0 run for the Spurs as the home team down 7. Steady diet of feeding Shaq every possession. Kevin Willis's presence there, altering the release. Fox 3. Shaq foul. Shaq pushed off, and he's not complaining much about it.
They gave him a look. You got to give him the obligatory look, don't you? It's even though you know you fouled, you still give him a look like, I'm Shaq. What are you doing? That's Kevin Willis. I'm Shaq. You can't give me that foul.
I'm Shaq.
Did you see me? I was Blue Steel. Come on now.
No. Don't go rap records on me now. Twizzle. Jackson couldn't hang on. Kobe in transition. Fox sees a lot of black and silver and turned it over.
Well, they got numbers.
Willis called for it. Jackson runs out. Another layup they could not finish. Spurs should be in a lot better shape.
So we're going to see the foul right there. Yeah, you can't. They will get you with that every single time if you extend the arm. If you're behind the guy, you got to move him in with the hips. And if you want to move him in with the arm, you just, once you extend it, it's all over. It's easy to see.
Here, look at the drastic improvement for a great athlete, Steven Jackson, who's taken Steve Smith's spot in the starting lineup. This guy back in 1996 was with Jermaine O'Neal and Kobe Bryant in the McDonald's High School All-Star Game. He led the East Squad. 21 was going to go to Arizona, never enrolled there. Went to a community college, but didn't play basketball. So
what? Why wouldn't you go to Arizona? What's up with that? Why would you not want to go to Tucson?
You're sounding like Walter.
I know. I was just gonna say that.
I know you're working with him, but Shaq, that was out of the cylinder. Great putback by O'Neal. He has 13. He and Kobe 39 and the Lakers 47.
You can slap me when you feel it necessary. It's okay. I'll accept it like a man.
Duncan right across at Walker.
Oh,
Tough
geez.
shot.
The guy 340 draped all over you.
You're right. He will not be 3 of 14 in this half. He's 2 of 2. Mr. Fundamental, 16. Shaq. O'Neal struggling here from the field. 6 of 17 tonight. Fisher played Parker to go left. He came right. He got shacked in the face. How you feeling right now, huh? Been on the road for 3 weeks.
You see right there, did off and rolled it in. Just kind of scraped the rim a little bit. And right here, man, you talk about Samaki Walker hanging all over him, just hanging in the air, one hand kiss off the glass. Tough shot.
Parker missed the free throw. We will get a timeout. One more coming from Parker. Could extend the San Antonio lead to 10. They're up 9 after a 12-2 run here in the third quarter on NBA Friday on ESPN. Friday night in LA, celebrities out in full force. Denzel Washington was talking to a few of the Lakers on the way. David Hasselhoff in the building tonight, huh? You want to talk about celebs? Penny Marshall. Penny following us on our NBA Friday trip.
I believe so.
Diane Cannon, as usual, sitting baseline, and of course, once again nominated for an Oscar, Best Actor role in About Schmidt, Jack Nicholson. Jack, a fashionably late arrival. But Jack didn't show up till we got on the air tonight, actually, truth be told.
You gotta love Hasselhoff, though, don't you? Knight Rider, Kid.
Knight Rider.
Guy's been around some of the most beautiful flotation devices ever. It's incredible. Gotta love that guy.
What's that other show? I'm drawing. What's the name
Knight
of the show?
Rider.
No.
Baywatch.
Baywatch?
Yeah, absolutely. Never watched it. Except for the
One to
promos.
shoot for Fox. That's a shot clock violation as the Spurs didn't have possession. You know, all of a sudden, the way TV is going, Baywatch is not as trashy a show as it once was. Hey, think about it. Really, it's kind of gone up in the all-time list.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch it. I watched Knight Rider religiously. I loved it. Kit was awesome. Talking car, thing was sweet. Love that thing.
Spurs will try to take a double-digit lead here. Duncan working on Walker, and Samaki picks up another foul. It's been a couple here for Samaki in this half. You can be the GM of your own NBA team. Not too late to play NBA.com's virtual GM second season, and you can win great weekly prizes. It's all at NBA.com. Samaki, Walker, and Shaquille O'Neal each have 3 personal fouls as Duncan comes to the line. Tim Duncan fills up the stat sheet, leads the NBA with about 3 blocks per game. As a matter of fact, if you look at the stats in the league, only player in the top 10 in points, boards, and blocks.
And you know what's impressive about those numbers, especially the 23 and almost 13 rebounds? He doesn't get 40 and then 8 and 39 and 11. It's 24, 11, 25, 13. I mean, they're always right around there. Just so consistent. It's scary.
Oh, boy, they call an offensive foul on Kobe. Trying to move Bruce Bowen out of the way.
Well, Bruce Bowen's going to get up in you. I mean, he's not going to back off. And you know, the guy reached around a little bit. I think that's one of those things you just let go.
Well, the Lakers have a lot of fouls here in this half. As a matter of fact, the Spurs will be shooting the rest of the quarter. Duncan over Ori. Uses the window as well as anybody in the league, but didn't convert there.
And was very angry. He did.
Tried to feed it to Shaq and turned it over. LA just 6 points in 6 minutes in this second half. Spurs an opportunity to extend to a big lead. Parker sets, strokes. Couldn't score. Another chance, another offensive rebound for San Antonio. Not really the kind of offensive rebounds they've been getting, but just the same.
Well, they got up there and tipped it out, though.
That's
I mean, so what? You get down there and you're battling, tip it out to your teammates.
Whoops. That's what they've been doing so well.
Gotta go. You got Tim Duncan on the ground. You got numbers if you hurry.
Bryant tried to fake Bowen to the hoop and put up an air ball. Ori was being held by Duncan, and a foul was called. 2 on Tim. And just the second of the quarter for San Antonio. So the Lakers are succumbing in part to that San Antonio defense, which is the best field goal percentage defense in the league. But now here come the series of whistles on the Spurs to get the Lakers in the bonus. Greg Popovich's team is 34-16, fourth best record in the league, and a lot of it has to do with these stats right here. Third in points allowed and best in the league at field goal D and blocks, as we mentioned earlier.
Well, that's the big one. The big one's the field goal percentage against, and they're always right at the top or on the top.
So Bryant now has 28, 2 field goals here in this second half.
Now, one of the reasons they're so good is because they have the 2 big guys. They can funnel everything too, and they play, you know, a slow style of game more often than not. And when you have the 2 big guys, you can take more chances outside. Speaking of big guys,
oh, strong move by Duncan. There are the 3 field goals in the third quarter to match the 3 of 14 he had in the first half. 19 and 14 for Duncan. Switch by Bowen, stay out on Bryant, rimmed it out on Shaq offensive, his 4th. So Shaquille O'Neal has picked up 4 personal fouls and put Phil Jackson's team in a little bit of a bind. He'll go to the bench.
I see Malik Rose right there doing a nice job just tackling him. He held on to him as much well as he could, and then Shaq, you know, Shaq's just trying to get him out of the way. You see 4th personal foul on Shaq, but he's trying to get to the line. I mean, Malik Rose did a great job just face guarding him. Malik Rose knew he wasn't going to get the offensive rebound or defensive rebound. Excuse me, but he was just trying to keep Shaq from getting him.
Changes the complexion of the game. 3 fouls in the first 7 minutes of this quarter on O'Neal. Malik Rose missed the first one. He'll have 1 more coming up. Rose at the free throw line and caused that 4th on O'Neal. Signed a 7-year, $42 million contract in August, and really coming off the bench when Robinson is healthy. He's the highest paid bench player in the league, pretty much.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I hate getting into, is the guy worth this or not worth that? He's a guy you'd love to have on your team.
Oh, yeah.
Because he bangs, he gives you the energy, he's going to sacrifice on the defensive end. I love having guys like that come off the bench. And don't worry about the minutes they get.
Nice Kobe feed to Samaki Walker. Rare points outside of the daily double of Bryant and O'Neal. Rose baseline. Nice. Well, the thing about Rose is he can give you some defense on Shaq. If you can guard Shaq, you can guard any 5 in the league. And he can give you defense on power forwards in the league. You know, in the Western Conference, you need that body to be able to do that. Bryant, step, shoot, score. 30 for Kobe. Approaching that magical 35 figure of late. 35 at least in his last 7 games. Again, we keep repeating it. Shaq and Kobe, 43 of the Laker 53. Got to get production elsewhere, especially with Shaq on the bench. Yeah, Bowen just couldn't catch it quick enough to release. 4 to shoot, Ginobili, nice cut to the goal. Fouled by Samaki Walker, and that is his 4th personal.
Well, that kills you. Play good defense for 21 seconds, and then you lose sight of your man, who cuts right down the middle and forces Samaki Walker to come over and foul. I mean, that was good defensive rotation. They got out on their guys, and that one's a backbuster right there.
Interesting. Phil's going to go back to Shaq here. Both Walker and O'Neal with 4 personals. Roll the dice.
I think the feeling is you don't want this game to get away, because then if you get down 20, no sense bringing Shaq back. If you're down 20 points, maybe you feel like before the game gets out of hand, you want to see if you can get back into this game before the 4th quarter starts. But a roll of the dice, absolutely.
San Antonio leads by 11, and the steal of Bryant by Bowen. 13. The San Antonio edge, largest of the night.
We talked about earlier, if San Antonio wins this game, that'll be 7 consecutive road games strung together. We're talking Indiana, Orlando, Portland. They can win at Los Angeles. I mean, this
Shaq plus one.
I'm not talking patsies here.
Oh,
We're
no.
talking
Oh,
as
no.
an impressive 7-game stretch, home or road, maybe that we've seen this season.
This one was up there, and the big fella said, nobody else.
Well, Duncan had to come over and try to defend that shot by Kobe, and once he tried to defend that shot, he was out of the way.
There's the difference in this quarter. Spurs will take time here as they lead by 11. Trying to keep the Lakers from getting some momentum. They be charged with a timeout coming up at the next dead ball anyway, so works out just fine. So San Antonio has been a little more aggressive to the goal this quarter, and they've gotten to the free throw line. Frustrated Kobe Bryant and O'Neal getting the Lakers in foul trouble, and Bruce Bowen and the San Antonio Spurs lead by 11, going for 7 in a row.
10-81. Mike?
And 20 wins at home now, Kev. 36-17. Sacramento is behind Dallas in the Western Conference standings. San Antonio sitting there in third, but as you guys mentioned at halftime, Houston lost to Miami tonight, 94-82. So if the Lakers win, they will jump over Houston into the 8th spot in the Western Conference standings. The Lakers have a chance to make some hay. This is a stretch where they play 10 of the next 12 at home, and then go on the road for 9 out of 10. So it's an important time for LA. O'Neal back on the bench, as you see with those 4 personals, and Mark Madsen has come in for the Lakers.
Which means someone should hit the floor in the next 45 seconds.
All right,
With Mark, with Mark
3-minute mark, we see that. Duncan, got the friendly roll. So Tim Duncan, 3 of 14 in the first half, is 4 of 5 here in the second. 21 points, 14 rebounds. Malik Rose knocked it out of bounds.
Well, that was odd. You take Shaq out when he gets his 4th, you bring him back in for 30 seconds, you sit him back down. Maybe one of those situations where during the timeout you start thinking to yourself, maybe we will save him for a little bit.
Saw Tony Parker come out, Steve Kerr back in at the point guard for San Antonio. Ori. Second non-Shaq Kobe field goal of the 3rd quarter for LA.
Yeah, before that, Walker had a deuce, and that was it. Hey, that's the first time we've mentioned Ori's name all night.
Ginobili couldn't convert. Fisher came down with it. Ori for back-to-back. Bryant saved it. Tim Duncan the rebound for San Antonio. There goes Steve Kerr. I love your old Arizona buddy Steve Kerr, age 37, 15 years in the league, playing backup point with all these rabbits in the league. Duncan. Kobe took it off the glass. I think he's going to take it until the shot attempt.
Whoa, get out of here.
Ori.
Oh, geez.
Left free. And Madsen just runs the offense. Devin George. Well, nobody hit the floor, but Madsen draws a foul on Tim Duncan. Well, there's the scenario that we were painting pregame as we were breaking down what was going to happen tonight.
He is, he is a human version of Jolt, is what he is.
That's 4 on Tim Duncan. And let me just say something while Madsen's in the game here. He's going to come to the line where he struggles mightily in most situations. See if Mark can grab one here. 3 of 12 this season. Mark Madsen is always spoken of in terms of the dance on stage after they win the championships out here, and people have fun with Mark. One thing Mark Madsen does is work his tail off.
Yes.
He gives you energy when he comes in. And it's almost unfair that he becomes the butt of the jokes every time somebody talks about Brad Johnson's celebration with Tampa Bay. And the guy, when he does come in, he is not the most gifted player in the NBA. He works hard. You don't hang around here for 3 years just because you're a nice guy.
And you know what's interesting? As hard as you see him work out here, that's how he looks in the practice floor.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he works as hard. He's one of those guys that when he leaves the game, whatever that is, he'll never say he wasted any of his ability.
And a good guy.
Oh, absolutely.
A really good guy.
Yes.
Well, Shaq on the bench, but now Duncan on the bench. Ori in rhythm. Madsen the rebound. Feeds Devin George. He knows his limitations, too. That's what I like about him. Fisher wants it. Got it.
The last two possessions give Mark Madsen a lot of credit for getting on the offensive glass and getting him those extra possessions they need.
6-0 run for the Lakers. 10 to shoot. Ginobili feeds Willis. Evan Willis goes baseline on Ori and draws the foul. You're expecting the 40-year-old guy to, in 19 years in the league, he'll give me a little turnaround. He flew by Ori on the baseline there.
Element of surprise, always nice to have. You don't think you last 19 years in the league without being crafty. You know all the tricks by now after 19 years. And you look at his stat line right there, those 9 rebounds, something he's always been able to do. Always willing to go in there and bang. And not only get the easy rebound, but get the tough rebounds as well.
Yeah, 11,000 of them during the career. You know, he's here for David Robinson. Robinson, of course, playing in his final season back in San Antonio. The right hip and knee injury is related to the back problem that he had last year, so he's taking the therapeutic injections. No lane violation call there. Popovich can't believe that. Bryant over Bowen. Well, Bruce Bowen's defense has been great. Devin George, right place, right time. Bowen is giving Kobe no room. He's earning the points tonight. 6-point game. 1 second more of game than shot clock. Ginobili on Devin George.
Slide it out, let him go 1-4. If somebody comes to double, that's the guy you pitch it to.
Madsen came to double. He took it to the cup. Drew the foul. Took a while, but we got somebody on the floor with Madsen's presence out there.
He knew it was going to happen sooner or later. That's just a given.
One on Madsen. Ginobili will shoot free throws. Manu Ginobili has his own website.
Who doesn't?
It was a very long morning for me out here on the coast. I got up early. I logged onto Manu's website, part of the Argentine team that had great success at the World Championships in Indianapolis this summer. He had to put a letter on his website to his fans who were getting really upset that he wasn't playing more. Everybody thought he was going to come over and play all these big minutes, and they realized that he had to figure it out over here. So he told the guys, hey, don't get too uptight over there in Argentina. As you watch the games, kids are staying up late to watch Manu Ginobili games. I'm just fitting into the league and fitting into the system. And he had an ankle injury that kept him out for a good part of the season, but he had to calm his fans via the net. Oh, he chased the rebound back and he got the hoop. Log on to that, baby. Manu.com. End of 3 in LA. So all the Laker work to climb back up the mountain. And Ginobili with the hustle makes it happen. Tim Duncan, very good quarter after 3 of 14 in the first half. Now 7 field goals, a double-double, which he does for a living. Tim Duncan 323 times in 421 NBA games, a double-double. His 36th of the season. It's one of the reasons the Spurs are going for 7 in a row, trying to get to 19 over 500. And they lead by 9 as off we go to the 4th quarter on NBA Friday. Happy Valentine's Day from LA. Spurs leading the Lakers 72-63 as we go to quarter 4 here on NBA Friday, the GMC Game Track. For those of you who may have taken your loved one out to a nice Valentine's dinner, settling in for the romantic 4th quarter on NBA Friday.
Oh, that's so wrong.
Duncan 3 of 14 in the first half, but had 21 points on the night. Kobe has 30, averaging 42 per game in his last 7. You see Bryant and O'Neal have carried the Lakers, but that stretch at the end of quarter number 3 was done by everybody else.
Well, that's what we're going to need more of that in the 4th quarter. With the Spurs, it's been everybody. Duncan had a good 3rd quarter, but a lot of people contributing in that 3rd quarter.
Devin George rebounds the Kevin Willis miss. Bryant on the take, lost it on the way up. up off San Antonio. Kareem Rush in the game with Kobe Bryant. Up front, it's Ori, George, and Shaquille O'Neal. Malik Rose joins Kevin Willis and Stephen Jackson for San Antonio, Manu Ginobili and Steve Kerr. The 5 on the floor for the San Antonio Spurs. Ori fouled as he was pitching it across. Stephen Jackson.
You know, I thought Kobe had more forces in that third quarter than he had in the entire first half.
Yes.
It just seemed like some shots that weren't there, he was trying to make happen, and Bruce Bowen was playing some exceptional defense on Kobe. He wasn't letting it come to him as much as he was in the first half.
Bryant shot 3 of 10 in that third quarter. After the terrific first half, he's now 14 of 29 for the game. O'Neal has 4 personal fouls. Kareem Rush rimmed out a deuce. Shaq's got to be careful not to pick up number 5, and San Antone gets the ball. You watch those scores go by. SportsCenter will have all the highlights coming up as soon as we're done here tonight. Steve Kerr on the tape. Jackson, 3 for number 3.
Great shot by Stephen Jackson, but if you're Devin George, you got to come out with the hand up. Hand's got to be up in his face, not just run out and have the hand at his chest. That's too easy a look.
Nice rotation by the Lakers. The outside shot's not falling tonight. Ginobili in the middle of the pile. Here's the foul on Manu. He got the worst of it. Also got the foul, his 4th. There's the breakdown on Bryant. Tom mentioned a few more forces in quarter 3. Willis on a hold on the box. Nope, Stephen Jackson.
Well, getting some early foul trouble.
Yep. Just like that happened to the Lakers in the third. Here, 3 team fouls in the first, 74 seconds for San Antonio.
And that always hurts, too. I mean, you get in that early foul trouble, then you can be more aggressive as an offense, put the onus on the officials, get some, maybe get 8-10 free throws in a quarter, make 6 or 7. That's a bonus.
Bryant in the lane. Now 32 for Kobe.
So we'll see if the Laker defense can clamp down a little bit in the fourth quarter after giving up 30 to the Spurs in the third quarter. The pump fake.
By Malik Rose. Hands to Ginobili. Drew the D and got it back out to Rose. Bryant on the board. Lost it again. Jackson taking 3. Woo! So Stephen Jackson, who had 28 points and 8 3-pointers in the last meeting of these teams, has hit all 4 of his 3-point attempts tonight, and the Spurs extend it back out to 13. O'Neal over Willis.
That's as well as you can play him. Jackson hit that shot. You just got to tip your hat to him. Keep him outside the lane. Whenever you can keep him outside the lane and make that ball leave his hand outside the lane, you got a better than decent shot of having it miss.
Ginobili, the good look. Willis couldn't catch. Lakers come back the other way. Steve Kerr left alone with Shaq. Commits the foul on the floor. The 4th on the Spurs here in the first 2:35 of the quarter. On ABC on Sunday, Sixers Nets and Spurs Kings will start it off with the ABC shoot-around from Sacramento at 12:30 Eastern. Then Raptors Wizards on Michael's 40th at 1:30 Eastern Monday afternoon, President's Day, and TNT has a Tuesday game here in LA, Yao against Shaq. As we get down to about 30 games left per team, and this certainly will be a very exciting finish to those playoff spots, both East and West. Bryant got to the rim and missed the dunk. He had the physical contact with Bowen and almost threw off his perspective of where he was in relation to the rim.
Well, he shoved him off is what he did, and then he got to the... I'm not going to explain that one.
I thought mine stood on its own, Tom. I don't know, trying to one-up me. Here is Rush turned away by Parker. Good deflection by Malik Rose, but kept alive by Ori. That's 5 fouls on the Spurs. So at the 8:53 mark, the Lakers get to the free throw point for the rest of the fourth quarter. They can use points without the clock moving. Down 11.
Warriors are now just 3.5 games out of a playoff spot out west. Let's go back to Staples.
Yeah, trying to close the gap on LA. Everybody keeps looking forward. Golden State also trying to join the fray. San Antonio up 11. Greg Popovich trying to keep his group in it in the fourth.
It's about staying competitive, playing to win, not to keep a lead, playing to win. And it's about poise, so we know what we're in. I don't care what they do, what they score. You keep your head, so we know what we're doing on offense, and on defense, we're playing everything we talked about, Team D. All right, so take a load off.
We think about this as such a veteran team. Kevin Willis in for David Robinson, Tim Duncan, MVP of the league last year. But then you have Tony Parker, second year, Steven Jackson in his third year. Those are guys, Manu Ginobili, rookie, significant minutes every game. Those are guys who have the ball in their hands at significant times on a team that's 34 and 16. So young guys are going to have to make key shots as the games get more important here in March and April.
Well, translating what he said in short was, don't be scared. Just play. Go out there and play your game. Don't try to protect a lead. Don't worry about what they're doing. Just do what you've been doing. Too many times the team gets up by 10, 11 points in the fourth, and about the 6-minute mark, they pull in the horns a little bit. Right. See if we can sit on the ball, dump and chase, if you want to use a hockey terminology. You got to keep playing. I thought you might enjoy that one. Just keep playing, keep going.
Beautiful. Where's the blue line, Tom?
I have no idea.
Parker to Malik Rose. Off the mark. San Antonio looking to win 7 in a row. Lakers looking to win 8 in a row. If the Lakers come back, they will pass Houston in the Western Conference. Bryant couldn't convert that one. O'Neal is fouled. As San Antonio's over the limit. They went over the limit last possession. It's a 16 fouls to none here in this fourth quarter. So the Lakers going to get a chance, and that's Tim Duncan with his 4 fouls, has to come back in the game.
We'll see how many free throws they have from the 8:50 point on down. So far, this is going to be 4 free throws, and we'll see how many they convert on. This is big. When you can get to the free throw line, if you get there 10, 12, 14 times, you're going to be, it's...
I'll take that foul from afar, please.
Boy, you better have good dental, because I would, there is no chance.
Does the league have a good dental plan, Tom?
That's a good question. I never really, anyway.
Was that out off? They come over here and say off Devin George. So the Lakers get to the foul line, but they've got Jack exercise, so to speak. 5 of 12 from the line tonight for LA. So you're going to get the chance. You've got to make them pay. Steven Jackson blocked by O'Neal. Big fella on the break. To George.
Oh, textbook.
Did you see
textbook?
Kobe's looked at Shaq like, whoo, thank goodness somebody was there. Back to Duncan, see if he can respond. First touch off the bench. Parker at 3. 6 the crowd down. Big shot. Back to 10. Terrific night for Tony Parker once again. 16 points, 5 assists. Bowen fouls Bryant. Kobe will shoot free throws.
That's 3 straight times. You can see right there. Oh, the biggest point guard in the history. Watch this off his wrist. He's gonna throw it out. He had a little smile on his face too, like, ooh, that was nice. Just kind of like that one.
It's very close to a double dribble, travel, lots of things there almost happened.
Well, at least he didn't go between the legs like in the All-Star game. This is 3 straight trips now. They've been to the free throw line, been able to convert 1.
And Bryant doesn't miss often, 83% free throw shooter. You saw Tracy McGrady in game 1 of our NBA Friday doubleheader. Kobe Bryant trails McGrady in points per game. McGrady at 37 tonight. But Kobe has played more games and scored more points than Tracy has here on the season. Now has scored 1,469 points in 50 games. Average just under 30. Duncan on Ori. Tough release. Duncan came across the lane for 2.
Great defense. That's great defense by Ori. You're going to force him to take that shot. You're going to live with that one.
23 and 16 for a guy who was 3 of 14 from the field. Great power dribble by Bryant to get to 35 points for the 8th consecutive game. So Kobe Bryant slides up another line in NBA history. But, it will be a hollow mark unless his Lakers can erase a 9-point deficit. Shaq defensively on Duncan. The double comes. It's Bowen. It's over the top and Laker ball.
We talk about Tim. Good defense by Ori here. Bodies him, makes him lean in. You're going to live with a shot like that. I mean, that's just what all-star players, MVP players do.
Laker ball, down 9. 6.5 left at Staples. Back at Staples in LA, Kobe Bryant, 35 points again tonight. Did it on this hoop a moment ago. That is 8 consecutive games with at least 35 points, and the game is the most important thing, but within the game, another notch in the NBA record book. Bryant is now just the 4th player in the history of the league to have at least 8 straight 35-plus point games. Wilt and Michael did it multiple times. The longest streak for each player listed there, but it's still heady company.
Only 25 away from Wilt. 25 away to lock in Wilt. I mean,
he can't do it this season. Oh, no, he will. I'm sorry,
yeah.
50 games.
Well, let's just say it's not going to happen.
You don't think?
30, no, not 33 straight. But I tell you what, Spurs have done a great job in the second half, making him work for every shot attempt, every point.
See, 3 Spurs
Yep.
at Bryant as he got to the goal. So that's now 35 shots for 35 points tonight. It's a shot per point.
And that's pretty average. I mean, there's nothing special about a shot per point. He's been much better than that throughout this stretch. And if you're Greg Popovich, you're saying if he wants to take 35 shots, get 35 points, I'm all for it.
Right. Parker wanted 3 more. Rimmed it out. Fisher, good defense, was very close to picking up a foul also, so worked out. Kevin George, 1 more pass. It's Fisher. It's 2. Toe on the tape. Inside a 6. The lead is 7. Need a couple of stops if you're Los Angeles along the way.
Well, I would suspect Tim Duncan may be touching the ball this trip down the court.
They switch on at that time. Bryant, the quick hands, and the turnover. Duncan sprints back. Ori runs left. Bryant to the lane. Couldn't finish. Devin George trying to keep it alive. Spurs will have 3-on-2 coming the other way. Steven Jackson's going to see Parker run to the ball and say, slow it down. Rose the bump, gave Parker a step. Back to Malik Rose. Nice quality possession when things were getting a little frazzled.
Well, every time they get it down to 7, 6 points, they bump it right back up to 9 or 10 points. They've done a great job of doing what Greg Popovich wanted them to, keep their composure.
Bryant is fouled. Lakers still have no fouls here in the 4th quarter. Steve Berthiaume and Neil Everett will have SportsCenter coming up tonight. Talk more about Kobe's performance. Tiger Talks after Woods play down the road at the Buick Invitational. Torrey Pines in La Jolla, 27 holes for Tiger today. And the plays of the week with an A. Friday night SportsCenter staple. 36 now for Kobe.
And that puts them at 4-7 since they've gone into the bonus. A little over, right about 4 minutes they've been in the bonus.
The 8:53 mark. Spurs picked up team foul 5 of the quarter. Again, LA none, which will allow Los Angeles to be aggressive defensively. The other guys outside of the top 2 scorers, Duncan and Parker, have been terrific on this road trip. That's why San Antonio is going for 7 in a row on the road. Malik Rose. Duncan kept it alive, but Ori was there.
Looks like it's been a while since Shaq touched the ball, hasn't it?
Yes, sir. All Kobe. Had no chance on that one. George makes the 3, got close. Got fouled by Duncan, his 5th. Yes, it is. 5 on Tim. Greg Popovich wanted a shot clock violation on that one. Didn't get it. Fans want to tee on Popovich. He's out by midcourt. He's yelling, did the ball ever hit the rim? Should have been a shot clock violation.
We're talking about in the second half right here. And this is straight force right there. I'm not sure if that hit the rim or not, but I think Greg Popovich may have a good point.
Yeah, I don't think I hit the rim at all. Devin George will get one more. Popovich going to take a timeout here. Lakers have another free throw coming. And a chance to get it down to 5. Now crawling back in. The two hottest teams in the league could have a sizzling finish tonight in L.A. Well, for a while, it looked forget about 4 would be the theme here in L.A. through the rest of this season as the Lakers try to become only the second team in NBA history to win 4 consecutive titles and break that tie with the Minneapolis Lakers and the 2 Jordan Jackson runs with Chicago. But since they were 11 and 19 on Christmas Day, they are 15 and 4 since. Now within 5 points of winning an 8th in a row. Sal Masakela, what about the huddle?
Well, I talked to Coach Clemens, and he said, basically, we just got to keep getting stops, but don't turn the ball over after we get the stops. Get down there and get some buckets.
Jim Clemens, one of the assistants with Phil Jackson. 8 to shoot. Duncan with O'Neal watching. Parker comes to get it. Duncan went up and got the rebound with long arms.
They've been doing it all night. Getting on the offensive rebound, getting on the offensive glass. That just hurts when you're trying to make a comeback. You got to hold them to 1 and out.
Duncan, who has a double-double with just his offensive rebounds tonight, 10 offensive boards, and now has 25 points. Kept the possession alive, guarded by Shaq, and hit the shot off the window to put San Antonio up 7. Inside of 3.5, O'Neal right at Malik Rose. So they put Malik Rose there defensively instead of Duncan.
Well, they're probably, I wouldn't imagine, I mean, Malik Rose done a real nice job on him. But you got to come after the first dribble. You can't let him get the momentum in the second dribble, as I was talking about earlier, because he's just too small. He can't affect the shot.
Duncan takes O'Neal away from his defensive comfort zone, then drives at it, draws the D, and Bowen rips hard on a 3.
What a great pass by Duncan. 3 guys converging. Bowen gives him a nice passing angle, nice passing lane, and finds him for the triple.
Rose picks up the 10th foul of this quarter on the Spurs, but that stretch right there is why Tim Duncan is the reigning MVP. The offensive rebound over Shaq, the ability to take Shaq away from the basket, draw the defense, what point guards do.
Well, you watch right here. I mean, that's not an easy pass to make. Finds him, and give Bowen some credit, too, for being in the proper position to give him that passing lane. The Spurs 8 for 15 from beyond the arc. It's always nice to go into someone's backyard and be able to shoot well from long distance.
See that 53% three-point shooting night, while the Lakers have struggled from behind the arc, and they haven't been great at the line either. The Lakers now 11 of 20 shooting free throws.
That just flat stinks.
Duncan on O'Neal again.
Here they come.
They give Shaq help. Parker got space.
Get out. Oh, my.
Got the 2. Ooh. Wow, big hoop. 9-point Spur lead. Sports Center on the way. Kobe backing Bowen in. Got to the cup. Couldn't convert. Bowen the rebound. Fouled by Devin George. Lakers' first foul of the quarter. But Kobe's missed his last 4 shots. Has more attempts than points tonight. And it's slipping away from L.A.
I'm not sure if he's running out of gas or not, but he's missed 3 layups in the second half. At least 3 layups. And right here, you're going to see him. I mean, this is point-blank range. And just to not be able to finish, that's something we haven't seen.
That's offensive on Tony Parker. As we come back, he hooked Derek Fisher, trying to get to the goal. Just one of those little mistakes. Greg Popovich just reminding him. 2:02 to go. They still have time on the shot clock. Mega possession for LA. Now 9, inside of 2. Kobe taking. 39 for Bryant.
Maybe he should forget about layups. Just stick around the 17, 18-foot range. You gotta get some stops. You need, 92 points, the Spurs can get to 95, 96 points, then you probably don't have much of a chance. So you need about stop every, and that ain't gonna help right there.
Oh, they say jump ball.
Wow.
Duncan cannot believe it. Tim Duncan, who never shows emotion. That is angry for Tim Duncan. He just took the ball and walked away.
Well, that was surprising right there.
Shaq had the ball at first.
We got hand and slid off the ball right to the hand. Wow. Yeah, if I was Duncan, I'd be a little upset. He's such a good guy, though. When he gets upset, it looks like he's about to smile.
Jump ball,
Big
O'Neal
possession.
and Duncan. Controlled by L.A. On our way to Sports Center, Lakers trying to make it 5 or 4. Bryant lost it off his foot. They dive for it. And Parker comes away with it for San Antonio.
Wow. It's like the old XFL coin flip. Just go and dive and get after it.
That should never be referred to in the middle of an athletic event. 12 to shoot. This would be a lights-out possession for the Spurs. Parker left free. Got it! And a foul on L.A. Underneath, the basket's good, and San Antonio is knocking on the door of NBA history.
Well, someone's got to step up, and you see right here, these guys are just flat out getting after it. Owen's trying to get it, and watch this. Someone's got to step. Someone's got to be there. I mean, Shaq, you know Shaq's not going to step out, but someone's got to get over there. 17-foot jump shot for that guy's money.
Tony Parker, the second leading scorer, has given them such a significant compliment to Tim Duncan. Tonight, 20 points and 6 assists to go with Duncan's 25 and 19. 10 of those 19 coming on the offensive end.
And the poise that Parker plays with for a second-year guy, I think stands out even more so than the points he puts up.
10 with a $1:07 to go. And the Lakers will take time. No team in the history of the NBA has had a 7-game winning streak with all 7 of those games coming on the road. Very simply, you don't take road trips like that very often. But still, to do it, especially against the teams they've done, is a monumental accomplishment for the Spurs.
Your team starts February 21st.
Every team in the league faces in a long road trip. San Antonio's having a phenomenal road trip. It's the 3rd longest trip in the NBA since 1975. A 9-game road trip forced by the San Antonio Rodeo that takes 23 days at the SBC Center. But after the initial loss to Minnesota, tonight would be 7 in a row, getting above average contributions from Tony Parker and Malik Rose. And remember, David Robinson, such a significant factor on this team, has missed now 3 games on this trip. Ori misfires on the 3, and the foul is on L.A. You will see San Antonio likely go for 8 in a row on the road on ABC on Sunday, the back end of our doubleheader. Tom, Bill Walton, Brad Nessler will have it against Sacramento. Then they go home for 8 of the next 10. Their only 2 road games in this 8 of the next 10 stretch will be at Dallas and at Houston, so they don't leave the state for about 3 weeks, but they have Dallas, Indiana, so it doesn't get any easier. San Antonio can see Dallas now in its sights in the Midwest Division.
Well, Dallas starting to level out a little bit. I mean, they weren't a team that was going to win 68 to 70 games. They're still playing good basketball, just not on fire like they were early in the season. But the cool thing about tonight's game was you get the Lakers, who had shot over 50% in 4 of the last 6 games against the best defensive team in the league, whose will was going to be imposed. It was the San Antonio Spurs.
Bryant 3, that is 42, right on his average for the last 8 games now. Try to foul Parker, cross court to Bowen, made it. Shaq took him out as well. O'Neal there to give Bowen a hand. He did not mean any harm to him.
I just like to see Shaq as a strong safety. Going across the middle.
Hey, you see Bryant's 42 also makes it 4 straight 40-plus point games. But when you look at San Antonio and what they're able to accomplish here, they'll be 4 behind Dallas in the Midwest. And if they can't catch Dallas, they're still the 3 seed. But to beat the Lakers 3 times, twice without Shaq, but once with Shaq, and beating as healthy an LA team as we've seen, both physically and mentally, and this is one that gives you confidence if you see LA down the road in the playoffs.
Oh, this is the one. I mean, forget about the other 2 when Shaq's not playing. You don't even count those. But to beat them after they've won 7 games in a row, the role that Kobe's been on, the role that the team's been on, they've been playing some good basketball. This win right here tells you what the San Antonio Spurs are all about. Tough-minded, tenacious, We'll battle you on the boards. We'll play solid defense. Not a flamboyant team, not a spectacular team, just a damn good team.
You're right. And the mental aspect important against LA because the Lakers have won 8 of the last 9 playoff games, eliminating the Spurs each of the last 2 years. 7-point game, 38.9 to go. Got a foul. Parker, a 75% shooter. Ginobili, 68%. They get Manu with 30.1 to go, and the Lakers can stop the clock twice.
What? Why not foul right away? I mean, either foul right away or just say, you know what, we're not going to win this game. Let's go home. I don't know why you let a team burn 9 seconds off the clock and then foul. It just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Ginobili did miss the first.
Unless you know something I don't, like Ginobili can't shoot free throws with exactly 30.1 on the clock. I don't know.
Somebody called timeout for LA, and Phil Jackson was yelling no. It's disgusting as he looked the other way. And somebody did get the timeout. So it will be taken. You don't want to do it there in between. You want it after the second one if he makes it so you can get it at midcourt.
Absolutely.
It just kills your 4 seconds for you here. You have to bring it up midcourt. That's why Phil was so unhappy there. 1 free throw coming up for the Spurs, who lead by 7. Half minute away from SportsCenter.
Power, real help.
Well, you dropped a hockey term earlier. You used a football term, bad clock management there by the Lakers, not the foul and the timeout, not when Phil Jackson wanted it. So the Lakers going to have to burn a couple of 3 seconds to get it across midcourt after this Ginobili free throw. Manu has 1 more. 25-year-old Argentine. Oh, they missed them both. All the way to Kobe. Taking 2. Oh. And the Spurs take time with 24.7 to go. 45 minutes, 41 field goal attempts, 44 points for Kobe Bryant.
I don't want to harp on this too much because it may not make a difference, but for the Lakers, wouldn't you like to have 33.7 seconds left right now? I think so.
Need to know.
The Knicks come to Staples Center on Sunday off their 1-point victory over Phoenix tonight in the Valley of the Sun. And then Houston on Tuesday as the Lakers hope to win tonight to win 8 straight and pass the Rockets, who were defeated by Miami this evening, get into that 8th and final spot in the Western Conference. You see the Lakers in this stretch of 10 of 12 at home. Will be at Utah on Wednesday, and then we'll play Portland a week from tonight. The Blazers, who have dropped back-to-back home games. Steve Kerr in, a better free throw shooter. And Parker is fouled. Malik Rose was trying to let Parker know, get it back to Steve Kerr. Terrific shooter. Steve and Neil settling in their seats for SportsCenter.
Yeah, Tony Parker, good, but not great free throw shooter at 75%. And the one guy you don't want to have the ball, because the Lakers would love to have the ball, is Tim Duncan. They're going to probably try to keep it away from him as much as possible.
1 for 3. You'll get 1 more, and this one make it a 3-possession game. Ginobili back in defensively off. Sorry. Oh, there you go. It went in.
Got all the rim.
On both of them. Devin George. And that will bring the proceedings to a close tonight. 20 rebounds for Tim Duncan on the evening. Shaq has fouled out for the 4th time this year. 21 points, 6 blocks. For O'Neal, who was 6th in the league, but you see these stats, I'm never a big fan of these because usually if a guy who's good scores a bunch, they usually win. Yeah. When Tim Duncan scores 50, the Spurs are 2-0. But this one is significant because it shows you Tony Parker's value to this team, as usually when he gets 20 points, he's the 2nd best scorer. Yeah. And it means he's fully involved in the game. So that one has more meaning than some of the others.
Well, not only is he the 2nd leading scorer on the team, he's got to run the team as well. Yep. I mean, he's got to do it all. And really, as much as we've seen the Spurs play, you almost take it for granted now how young he is and you just say, hey, he's a good point guard now without even giving the disclaimer it's only his second year. Not even his full second year, 1.5 years.
PJ Carlissimo, assistant for the Spurs, was talking to us before the game about how great Parker is. Everything involved. He's just a super young man. Fisher makes it 6. Parker is fouled. PJ worked in television last couple of years. Of course, the former Portland coach, now on that bench with Greg Popovich as an assistant. His wife, Carolyn, they had their first child, Alex, this summer. Sports Center coming up. We'll talk about the Kobe encore to this high-scoring stretch. Tiger Woods, see how the knee held up after 27 today at a soggy Torrey Pines, and the plays that were not the best of the week coming up on Sports Center with Steve Berthiaume and Neil Everett.
Not supposed to rain in San Diego, is it?
Well, it's the first time all year. No rain out here at all. Mr. Tolbert, see you in Sacramento on Sunday on ABC.
Absolutely.
Shoot around at 12:30. Mr. Walton will join us. Devin George misses, and that wraps it up. The San Antonio Spurs have won 7 in a row, all of them coming on the road. The first time in the history of the NBA that a team has done that in one season. 103-95 the final. Duncan 28-20. Parker had 24. Kobe had 44 points, continuing his great stretch. With Tom Tolbert, Sal Masakela, our entire ESPN crew, Mike Tirico, thanks for watching this presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Happy Valentine's Day and good night from LA. And off we go to Sports Center.